So to me, social media is a lot like multi-level marketing, Amway, where you tell a few people and then it just spreads out from there, and hopefully you can get your message out to as many people as you can. And to me, it's been a useful tool. We haven't really gone as far as using any other social media other than a blog that they're working on right now. Facebook, we've kind of stayed away from it because I don't really see where Facebook can be useful for us. And we have some challenges where everything has to be bilingual if it's coming from a corporate account. We do have 2 other Twitter accounts with Ottawa Fire, which are bilingual. Mine, I try to do a little bit of both, but it's mostly English because it is my personal account. Images. Mark had mentioned that I tend to use pictures a lot because I find that with 140 characters, you can't really say a whole lot. And it's really hard to describe at times what we're dealing with. If I tweet out about a motor vehicle collision where we have to do a side removal or a roof removal, people, what does that really mean? I try to keep it in layman's terms or try to speak English so that we don't confuse people with all the fire department jargon. So it's easier sometimes just to take a picture and send it out so that people can see for themselves what it is that I'm trying to describe, or maybe see the severity of something. Especially when it comes to drinking and driving and distracted driving. Sometimes images of a serious crash is enough to maybe jar some common sense into some people in staying away from texting and driving and other distractions. One of the probably one of the pictures that went viral was when we had the sinkhole a couple years ago on the 174. It just happened to be around the corner from where I lived, and when I heard it and listening to the radio communications, it just didn't make sense to me, and I couldn't believe that something could be as serious as they were saying it was, so I had to go take a look for myself, and as soon as I got on scene, I had tweeted a picture of it, and there's a car gone in a huge sinkhole, and that picture went viral quickly. That certainly got the media moving, because at that point they realized that we got a serious problem here. We want to get some pictures of this. And that picture's basically gone all over the place. I've had engineering firms call me. They want to use the picture because it's all about infrastructure, right? It was an issue with the infrastructure. So this is a good way of them showing what happens when infrastructure fails. It's not to put the blame on anybody. These things happen. I've also used, pictures in a comical way, because I find that you have to please different audiences. Some people like humor. Some people like serious stuff. If you throw a little bit of humor in, sometimes people like that, and it kind of, I find it just makes me more human, and it's not, like Mark was saying, I'm not coming from a corporate account, or I'm not just a machine. One of the most frustrating things I find is the automation today. Everywhere you call, select 1 for this, select 2 for that, select 3 for that, and then you get put on hold, and then you leave a message, and you don't know if anybody's going to get back to you, how long is it going to be before somebody gets back to you. It's very frustrating. And I think when it comes to fire prevention, I don't like the idea that anybody has to wait to get an answer. So I've chosen to engage the public and let the public, when they ask questions, to answer them if I can answer them. It's not always easy to answer a question in 140 characters, because often you'll get questions where it's, well, I need more information. I live in a building where I think there should be sprinklers, okay? Well, what kind of building is it? And how many floors is it? How big is it? When was it built? There's too many questions. So questions like that I will usually answer and refer them to call our Fire Prevention Bureau or send an email. But often it's a simple question like, I plugged an appliance and a little bit of smoke came out of it. What should I do? Unplug it, throw it out, or if you have any doubts, call the fire department. My alarm's going off. What should I? Well, usually when they say that on Twitter, it's because it's beeping or something. It's not necessarily going off, but they don't know. They've checked the battery and it's still going off. So we can make small recommendations, or refer them to a web link. Because usually, if they can access Twitter, they can access the web. So I can provide them with a link to go check a page that gives them information on, well, maybe you need to vacuum it. There could be dust, could be spider web inside your smoke alarm that's causing it, or humidity, or maybe it's just time to change it. As if it's 10 years old, maybe it's time just to change the smoke alarm or change locations. You can give them some advice, and I think people will really appreciate when they can get an answer right away. I think I've set a high standard, but I think that we shouldn't expect anything less. So it's the level of commitment. I mean, I think that anybody can do my job. It's just that will they do it off hours? Like, I mean, if I go home tonight and the pager goes off and there's a fire, whether I'm paid or not, I will likely put information out on it if I think it's significant. That's just because I have a lot of passion in what we do.